Sunday was a tough day to be a Houston sports fan. Let's rip off the Band-Aid together, vent about what was a brutal ending to the 2025-2026 season after a 28-16 loss by the Texans to the Patriots, and talk about that thing that we don't really want to talk about. I'm Paul Gallant, and this is the Gallant Says podcast on Monday, January 19th, 2026. Hit it!
A radio show host in Seattle called Paul Gallant.
Paul Gallant's wondering the same things a lot of people wonder.
You are definitely living in the hindsight world today, Paul.
I was just kind of curious what Paul gets to say.
You grow up, motherfucker. You kidding me?
Paul Gallant, what the hell is wrong with you?
Oi!
Oi! Oi! Oi! Ziggy-zag, ziggy-zag, oi, oi, oi.
The Gallant Says podcast is live on YouTube at Paul Gallant, Twitch at Gallant Says, Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports, Instagram at Sports Gallant, X at Gallant Says Pod. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Sometimes you are forced to admit that your quarterback let you down. Are we ready to talk about it? I'm, of course, talking about Josh Allen's 4 turnovers against the Denver Broncos on Saturday. What was that? Imagine being the Bills and you're stuck with Josh Allen going forward. That Bills preseason dynasty that we have been told about for years and years and years. Runs into a wall again. Firing Sean McDermott, that's going to fix it. Sticking with the GM, that's going to fix it. I kid. We got to talk about it. You know? We've got to talk about it. Sometimes you've just got to turn to your backup quarterback. I know. I'm, of course, talking about the Denver Broncos being without Bo Nix for the AFC Championship game. You know? We got to talk about it. How are the Broncos going to win the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots if they're stuck with Jarrett Stidham under center? Did you know that Jarrett Stidham, by the way, is the son-in-law of former Rockets president Tad Brown? Is Tad Brown, notorious Sensi Wensi, is Tad Brown going to try to have the Patriots fired before the game? We'll see. I kid. We've got to talk about it. We've got to talk about it. Sometimes it's clear that you never had a chance going into the game. And you're going up against a team that you hate. And you think to yourself, do I even want to watch them, given what this team has done? I'm kidding. Listen, guys, sometimes you just got to talk about it. Sometimes the magic runs out. And a team of destiny turns back into a pumpkin after an incredible stretch where they just keep pulling things out of their ass and overcoming a lot. I am, of course, talking about the Chicago Bears losing to the Los Angeles Rams last night. I mean, it was a great year. You got that awesome Caleb Williams touchdown pass on 4th down where he runs like 60 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He tosses the touchdown pass. But, I mean, it was all for naught. I kid. I know. We got to talk about it. Sometimes it's obvious that you've got to move on from somebody who is not performing the way he did a couple of years ago. We got to talk about it. I'm, of course, talking about Astros legend Ryan Presley retiring over the weekend. He just doesn't have it anymore, you know? Doesn't have it anymore. Sometimes you got to admit this guy's not the guy. You move on, and you try to make it happen in the future. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So we'll see what Ryan Presley does next. We wish him well in his next career. I'm kidding. I know. You guys want me to talk about it because we've got to talk about it. Sometimes you just feel oppressed by a regime that refuses to move on. I'm, of course, talking about what's going on in Iran. And our thoughts and prayers are with the fine people of Iran. You see some protests in Houston about what's going on in Iran. It's not good. You just feel oppressed. Cherie doesn't like it. Rock the Casbah. But I'm kidding. Again, I'm kidding. Because I know a lot of us don't want to talk about it, but we got to rip the Band-Aid off. But we got to talk about it. You always got to be worried about this one team whenever you go up against them. Because this is a team that certainly knows the art of the deal. What am I talking about? I am, of course, talking about the United States thinking about purchasing Greenland. You know, the United States is looking to buy Greenland, and maybe they'll buy it. Maybe they'll buy it. But you got to be worried. If you're Greenland and the United States is lurking, you got to be wary. You might be a property of the United States of America in the near future. So we got to talk about it. And we've talked about it, and that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Gallant Says podcast. We do this thing weekdays, generally at 7 in the morning. You can subscribe, rate, and review the show, Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. It's also available on YouTube. Like this video and subscribe. On Twitch at Gallant Says. Give me a follow. I'd really appreciate a sub. On Instagram at Sports Gallant. We're having some issues on Instagram today. Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. It's also available on X at Gallant Says Pod and on TikTok at Gallant Says. Really appreciate everybody tuning into today's show.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
I'm kidding. I know why you guys came here. I'm gonna take this Texans hat off, and I'm gonna put another hat on because I know why a lot of people are here. If you don't live in Houston, you have a perception of Houston that is not what Houston actually is. I remember the first time I moved to Houston, I was 22, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, there's gonna be like cowboys on horseback riding on the streets and stuff like that. And then I got to Houston, and I realized it's not that at all. I was in Montrose at a bar formerly called Royal Oak, and as I went to the bathroom, a person saw me, handsome man that I am, and rubbed his arm down my shoulder and said, "Hey there, sailor." And I was like, "Oh, this isn't exactly Texas." So, listen, I'm gonna put my cowboy hat on one more time for one last ride as beloved character Tex Gallant. And listen, I don't know why the internet loves Tex Gallant the way that the internet loves Tex Gallant, but I literally got over 1 million views on a post where I wore this hat and talked in a really shitty Texas accent about the Houston Texans and some trash talk the Patriots were giving them. So I'm going to, one more time, get into character as Tex Gallant so I can, once again, get views on the internet with an absolutely awful shit post. Okay? Let me get in character. Let me get a little water. My beloved Texans season is over. And it's all because of that damn C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, more like C.J. Plowed. This guy, who the hell does he think he is? I've seen backup quarterbacks playing for the New England Patriots who were better than him. Put Scott Zolak in there while he's intoxicated in the booth. Hey, maybe you could put, I don't know, Mac Jones' fat ass back in there. He'd do better than C.J. Stroud. I'm at the point right now where I'm looking at myself and thinking, why in the bleepity bleep did our beloved Houston Texans not put in Davis Mills? Davis Mills! D'Amico Ryans might have been the subject of racism from Mike Vrabel in the build-up to the Texans-Patriots game, where D'Amico Ryans and everything he's given to the Texans was ignored by Mike Vrabel. But is D'Amico Ryans a racist, not putting white man Davis Mills under center? The cracker of our country is constantly put down. They're not allowed to play cornerback anymore. Now all of a sudden they can't play quarterback. I don't know why Tex Gallant all of a sudden sounds like he's from Mississippi, but what I can say is this. I'm outraged. Outraged by C.J. Stroud's performance. And I'll tell you this, I ain't no proud boy no more, because C.J. Plowed got plowed by a bunch of Yankees up in New England. And now here we are, Texans once again, sadder than we were after the battle for the Alamo. Remember the Alamo? How about remember that C.J. Stroud's got to go? So we're going to turn that into some abortion of post online, and it's going to get a lot of clicks, and I can't explain why it got a lot of clicks. I won't be able to, but yeah, bro. That's where we're at. That is where we're at. So anyway, it's the Gallant Says podcast on YouTube at Paul Gallant, which at Gallant Says. Instagram at Sports Gallant, although things are not working out so well right now. You know, it's just not working out. It's just not working out. It's just not good. It's just not good. It's time to talk about what we were going to talk about and what the thumbnail implied we were going to talk about. I no longer believe in C.J. Stroud, and I'm having a hard time figuring out if I'll ever believe in him again after what was hopefully the worst game of his career. I once thought C.J. Stroud played like a top 5 quarterback his rookie season. C.J. Stroud himself thought he played like a top 5 quarterback in his rookie season. Since then, he has been so far from that guy. So, I'm out. I reserve the right to change my mind in the near future, but I don't see how things are better for Stroud next season or ever here. What change realistically can be made that's going to get more out of Stroud next year? Please tell me. You're going to move on from the offensive coordinator again? You're going to draft more offensive linemen when this organization, at least with Nick Caserio running the personnel side of things, is not very good at evaluating linemen? By the way, the line was better this year than it was last year, so at the very least give some credit to Cole Popovich. But you've whiffed on a couple of second-round picks who you can't play. If Tank Dell's back, are things different? I don't know that Tank Dell's ever going to be Tank Dell again. Do Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel get markedly better this next season? I don't know. Is Christian Kirk going to be a reliable receiver for C.J. Stroud? He did have a nice touchdown catch yesterday. I don't know, but what is it between now and next September is making C.J. Stroud a better quarterback next year? I don't know. They have a good cap situation. Theoretically, they can be aggressive on the offensive line in free agency, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of turnover in the near future. So at least you got this defense for one more year. Will Anderson Jr. is getting a big-time extension. I don't know that Stroud can. There was an interesting line delivered by Troy Aikman in the midst of yesterday's Texans loss. Aikman said this, quote, CJ Stroud has been chasing his rookie success for the last 2 years. He's not been the same player. We've not seen the development from him. There's a reason for that, and it has to be addressed. What's the reason? Really, I want to know, what's the reason? I couldn't tell you. I wonder if Aikman thinks he knows the reason. But that part raised my eyebrow more than Aikman saying what everyone in Houston realizes and what a lot of other broadcast teams are too afraid to say. This is going to be a long offseason. The sports talk shows are going to be talking about whether or not you give Stroud an extension all offseason. I think most people are in agreement you don't, but I don't know if the Texans feel that way. We'll see if David Mulugeta, Stroud's agent, pushes for that contract extension, or maybe tries to plant in Stroud's mind that he will better succeed elsewhere. Maybe we have another Deshaun Watson situation on our hands in the near future, but I'm out on CJ Stroud. The Texans are stuck with him next season. They've got to figure out a way to make this better. They're not going to move on for Mac Jones, who, by the way, sucks. They're not going to move on for some of the other names that have been thrown out there. Tua Tagovailoa. You want Tua? Come on. I think Stroud's still in the top half of the league, but now he's like towards the middle. You know, we're talking like 15, 16 or so. You're better with him than Mac Jones. You're better with him than Davis Mills. You're better with him than Tua. But you need to get more out of him. I don't see the solution. I don't see what gets more out of him next season. I really don't. As far as CJ Stroud is concerned, there were some interesting comments made by Stroud and others after the 28-16 loss to the Patriots yesterday. I'm going to sound like an asshole in a moment, but, you know, after a loss to end the season, I might be in the minority here, and I'm sure some people are going to say, so courageous, so wonderful to see this. But I can't imagine I'm the only person who was annoyed by this from Stroud at the beginning of his press conference yesterday.
Yeah, first, I mean, before I do anything, I want to give God the glory, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, and without him, I'm nothing. And I just appreciate him giving me this opportunity, this platform to play this great game with this great organization. So just grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. And that wasn't the only commentary that we heard from Texans after the game that it got a little bit religious. Here is D'Amico Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans, his thoughts on what went down, the first things that he said at yesterday's post-game press conference. Here's the head coach of the Houston Texans.
First and foremost, and all glory, honor, and praise to God. I'm just thankful for the season that we were able to have. Didn't finish the way we would like to see, but I'm proud of this team, proud of these guys for just being the light and shining bright. Guys accomplished a lot of firsts, did a lot of great things, you know, throughout this year. Provided a ton of inspiration to a lot of people, especially to the city of Houston. So no, we didn't we're not coming back with the win, but we know we have a ton of fans. They're proud of what these guys were able to accomplish this year, and I'm proud of these guys as well.
Okay. I'm going to do a different version of a quote that I once gave to my parents at the age of 5 after going to, what was it? I think it was like some sort of Bible camp, you know? My parents picked me up and asked me, hey, buddy, hey, Paul, how'd you like Bible camp? And I told my parents this. It was very Jesus-y. I wish that it was a little more weapony. Yes. I said that. I did. You know? Well, here's another version of that quote coming from me now 30 years later almost. I would like the Texans after a playoff loss to be less Jesus-y and more tear-y. You know what I want to see after a performance where you go down like that? I want to see my quarterback crying at the podium like this guy, Josh Allen, did on Saturday night.
How hard is it to just get here again and have this happen?
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
Okay, yeah, I want that. I want more of that. I want more of that. I want you to cry. Cry! I want, after the game, Deion Dawkins. I'm sorry, this is stupid, you know? Like, hey, they're humans. This is a real thing that they just went through. But call me crazy. I don't want to hear about the big man upstairs and about being thankful for him. Nope. I just had 4 alcoholic drinks and a football team that I've covered for much of my life once again failed in the divisional round of the playoffs, while the team that I grew up rooting for and still root for got another AFC Championship game appearance. I want this. I don't want that. I don't want the Lord. I want people to be sad.
Simply that. I hate to keep it short, but we love you. You know, we're thankful for him.
He said he feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
Thanks, Tim. You know, you work so hard. You know, personally, just so thankful to be a part of this.
By the way, Brandon Cooks, very religious guy. And he's got the cross earrings, which is not sacrilegious at all. The Archer, while he was with the Texans. Big Jack Easterby guy, Brandon Cooks was. Brandon Cooks has more reason than any to try and like spin it like, yeah, I'm thankful for the Lord, all that stuff, after the bullshit that he had to deal with, where he definitely came down with that catch on Saturday night. And at the very least, they should have reviewed it, but the NFL didn't do anything. CBS asleep at the wheel as well. Brandon Cooks, also teary-eyed after the game.
I look back and like, man, what can I have done to be able to alleviate some of that pressure from him? You just love this game so much, and when you come up short like this, it's gonna sting for a long time. You know, there's no, next week. Just love it, you know.
I want less. I want the locker room to be less Jesus-y and more teary, okay? That's all. Sorry if that makes me come across as sacrilegious. I'm trying to make people laugh, okay? I'm trying to make people laugh. For what it's worth, CJ did say that he felt like he let the city and his team down. Also from the press conference yesterday, here is the quarterback of your Houston Texans.
I look back at the season and just once again, I can't just be anything but grateful for the teammates I have, the coaches that I have, the organizations, the city of Houston, the fans, and I just, I look back and I just feel like I let people down, and not happy with that, and it hurts, and I'm not, naive to it. I didn't play my best this year, but I'm gonna, respond. I'm gonna, keep my chest up, my chin up high, and I'm gonna just keep battling forward. If God before me, who can be against me? And I'm just gonna rely on that. But yeah, I think even today, just our team doing great. Our defense, getting stops. And I just being careless with the football. I gotta get that fixed, and something that I know I can. So I'm gonna get that done.
I'll give Stroud credit for this. It's not like he was in denial after this game or pointing fingers. I think he's as upset about his performance as we are. And I don't dislike Stroud, the person. In fact, I find him to be pretty honest as the podium and pretty open about things. And I like seeing that in humans. But it's just impossible for me to believe in C.J. Stroud again, seeing how rattled that he looked on Sunday in that miserable weather. I don't know how you get back, and I don't know how Stroud gets back from that. I really don't. All the Texans are defending C.J. Stroud. Here are some Texans after the game. First off, you had D'Amico Ryans saying, with video courtesy of Jason Bristol from Channel 11, that CJ is our guy.
No, CJ's our guy. I believe that he could come back out in the second half and flip it. I believe that he could play better, and he did that in the second half. He did play better. We had some positive drives there in the second half, because I believe that he would do that, and he did that. And as I always tell our guys at halftime, it doesn't matter what happened in the first half. You have to flush it, remove it, and you just have to go out and finish the right way. And I told you, we've been there before. We've been in situations much more dire than this, and we were able to bounce back. So, in my mind, there was no doubt in my mind that we would be able to overcome that.
4 first-half interceptions. I don't know how you do that. More after the game, Texans defending C.J. Stroud. This is another clip from D'Amico Ryans, the video pulled by Jason Bristol, Channel 11, my guy over on Sports Extra. They bring me on every now and then. Here is what D'Amico Ryans said that he told C.J. Stroud after the Texans lost to the New England Patriots. And as the video loads, we will wait, and we will wait, and we will wait some more. Apologize to the YouTube audience for whatever reason your chats are not showing up today. In the chat section with the Social Stream Ninja, we're going to have to tinker with that after the show one more time, because it also failed on Instagram, and we had some stream rate issues. It might be another reason that we have to record these in the morning. Here is D'Amico Ryans, what he said to C.J. Stroud after the game.
Keep your head up. I love you. Like, I got your back. And that's what I told him at halftime. This whole team has your back. Like, we're in this thing together from day one. Like, it doesn't change for me. Like, we have a really special group, a tight-knit group. When things don't go your way, you have bad performances, it's not a time to point fingers or say it's on one person. If anybody, it all starts with me. For me, as the head coach of this team, we didn't perform well. Obviously, I didn't have our guys, ready to go in this moment. So that starts with me. We stick together.
I love it when a coach just goes into starts with me. That's what we always want to hear. Pulling out of the Bill O'Brien playbook. All right. More comments after the game. Lots of defenders of C.J. Stroud. It wasn't just D'Amico Ryans. Another video courtesy of Jason Bristol from Channel 11. Give him a follow on X and all the socials. Here is what Will Anderson Jr., had to say about C.J. Stroud after the game.
We just sat down at the locker together, man. And if I'm being 100% honest, it's so much bigger than football. It's so much bigger than what everybody has to say, especially for CJ. When he's big on his faith, he knows what he does it for. He knows who he is, and he's God's, man. So God handed upon him. He's going to be good. We're rocking behind him. And I told him, man, I still think you're the best quarterback in this league. Hands down, there's nobody better than you. And we're behind him. We're rallying behind him, man. And like I said, obviously we didn't have the outcome that we wanted, but that's what we have offseason for, to get better and to grow.
All right, well, that's Will Anderson. He's defending C.J. Stroud. After the game, Azeez Al-Shaair defended C.J. Stroud. Here is the Texans linebacker who was also fined for his eye black against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talk about that on tomorrow's show. Azeez Al-Shaair, ladies and gentlemen.
Last year it was me. Last year I was hurt. Both of my knees were hurting. I gave up a touchdown. Dude standing over me, taunting me. I played terrible. And so I know exactly what it feels like to feel like you let the team down. I remember sitting in the locker room in Kansas City, literally saying that to the whole team. Like, I couldn't look nobody in the face. So, for me, I know what that pain and things are like. But at the end of the day, I told CJ already, it's just the work. Like, just put the work in. Don't forget the feeling, because let it fuel you to where you want to go moving forward for this next season. But that's what it's about, man. Just putting the work in and just putting your hair down and just blocking out the noise and just correcting what you feel like you need to get back.
So that's Azeez Al-Shaair. D'Amico's defending CJ. Will Anderson's defending CJ. Azeez Al-Shaair's defending CJ. Even Jalen Petrie is defending CJ Stroud after the game. Here is the Texans nickel corner, who had himself a great season, but also didn't think he played particularly well in this game. Video courtesy of Jason Bristol.
Yeah, it's just tough. It's just tough. Our whole team, we all didn't do enough to win this game today. It was no way on just CJ. It was on Jalen Petrie. It was on the defense. It was on CJ. It was on the offensive line. It was on everybody, included coaches. We got to figure out a way to get that win. And no way was that on CJ.
4 first-half interceptions. But you also did have a Woody Marks fumble in the red zone and all that. I do like that Jalen Petrie referred to himself in the third person there. Hell, even Xavier Hutchinson is defending C.J. Stroud after the game. Here is the wide receiver of the Houston Texans who had a drop that was returned for a touchdown by Marcus Jones. He also had a fumble that got overturned on review.
There's no need to pick him up. CJ's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I stand on that, and I believe that. It wasn't the best game for a lot of us, man, but that's just how the ball goes sometimes. There is no picking up. Sure, he's already there. He knows what he can do. It's all about us, just playing ball and really just capitalizing on the opportunities that we got, and we didn't do that tonight.
Just let your soul glow. Let it sound so silky smooth. Just let your soul glow. His hair is amazing. His performance yesterday, not so much. Just let it shine. Just let your soul glow. God, I got the voice of an angel. So everyone's defending C.J. Stroud after this game. Everyone. I don't know if they're doing that privately. Publicly, they've got his back. He's down. He's a guy that seems to get very down on himself. I empathize with that. I get very down on myself a lot. I'm really curious as to how they really feel, though, about this performance, because everyone's got to have a group chat to the side where they're talking about this and wondering if they can do better without him. Because this feeling is only going to compound and get worse next season if Stroud again. Doesn't look like he looked in 2023. Is it possible that the Houston Texans were jinxed in yesterday's game? See this? Hear about this? This was what went down on SportsCenter or NFL Live on Friday's edition of the show. They were asked to make predictions. It's Mina Kimes. It's Ryan Clark. It's Houston's own Hannah Storm. It's Stan Orlovsky. It's Marcus Spears giving their predictions for Texans-Patriots.
Look at our picks in this one. I got to say, I was surprised. We are all.
No way.
No way. Oh, no.
Change mine.
I know.
Change mine.
I know.
Hell no. Change my pick.
Once the gong is in, it's
Bro,
fine.
what?
None of y'all took New England.
No. Lydell got my paper wrong.
Mina's gone.
Lydell, did you get my paper?
Mina,
It says right here. It says
That
right
is
here.
bad.
Ryan told
This
Lydell
is so close.
the Patriots. No, it says
no,
it.
it doesn't.
Hannah, it says
I thought when
it.
Nico Collins was ruled
can't
out,
see
everybody
it.
would change it but me. I hate this.
I know. Oh my gosh, you guys, the Texans.
This is bad.
No,
I don't
This
want
is
to be in a
bad.
screenshot.
This is bad,
You guys,
bro.
no Houston
This is
team
bad,
has been to a
man.
conference championship game
don't love it.
since the Oilers in 1979. Love you,
New England
Blue.
fans, you're going to be mad at us.
I mean, we can't do this to H-Town.
Me and Marcus got to go to
I'm
Foxborough.
changing my pick, buddy.
Yeah, dude, this is another example of ESPN lying about our Pats, huh? These fucking losers over here at ESPN. ESPN lies. Spygate, Deflategate, this terrible journalism. It's not up to the standards of the Boston Globe, that's for sure. These guys going out here hating on our Patriots. What the fuck's up with that? But yeah, they might have been jinxed before the game. Also, if you want to get mad at somebody and you're tired of being mad at CJ Stroud, I've got a solution for you. Anyone see this? Hear about this? This is Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo, who's still in office, I guess. This is her post that she made yesterday. Kudos to the Houston Texans on advancing to the second round of the playoffs. This team showed real determination, playing with heart and discipline despite major offensive injuries. That kind of resilience matters. The same kind of resilience you didn't show when you had your little mental health break, huh? Step down from office if you're going to take like a 4-month vacation. I mean, mental health break or whatever. God, politicians talking about sports never goes over well. She had that very cringe video with Channel 2 that we played last week where she was saying, I just found out that people in Pittsburgh, they don't say y'all, they say yins, and I mean, that's just crazy. You're not relatable. Just please leave. Stop making it so easy. Please leave. One son with a comment. Sadly, we can't show things on YouTube anymore. Jesus, dude. Are you down that bad? All right, so that's gonna wrap things up for our Texans coverage for a while. We'll be talking a little bit about the Texans as we get into the offseason, but what do we do next on the Gallant Says podcast? Do we talk Astros baseball? We could do that, right? We could start our countdown again. Who says it's only a game? When you want it, you give it all you've got. The war's not over till the final shot. It's pride and glory and fame. Who says it's only a game? know. I don't know. Whipping out Astros baseball. Who says it's only a game? And we could talk about that. We could talk about the watch party fight, which is being referenced on the Twitch. Yeah, we might talk about that tomorrow. I need more time to look that over. I'll be honest, I was reveling in my favorite team's victory last night after I was done doing all my work for you guys. Do we want to talk? Is it time for Rockets basketball next? Like, do you want us to focus on the Rockets? Is that what's next? How about this? Let me see if I can find. There's a specific little bit of audio that I think we could play in the background. I think some people are really going to like this. But I got to find it first. Where did it go? Is this... Nope, not that yet. Here we go. Maybe this is what we talk about next. Talking about? It's the motherfucking Cougars! Yeah? Go Cougs? Cougs basketball time. So we could do that. But, God, my hair is very long right now. Very long. But, listen, there's something that I'm going to have to do, and I'm sorry, this show is going to get a little graphic for a moment. Just for a moment, okay? So bear with me. TikTok, we're going to have to turn this up. Okay? I think I'm going to get copyright struck for this, but it doesn't matter. All right, listen, guys. Listen. It's time for me to transition into my true form. It's time to transition. What do you mean by that? Well, listen. We are transitioning into my final form. Because I know a lot of people might be tuning in right now and you're wondering, Paulie, who are you really a fan of? Since day one, it's always been this. I kept it in my pants all Sunday. I kept it in my pants all today. But the first transplant Patriots fan in the United States of America who, when he was 14, got in fights in high school telling the defending Super Bowl 37 champion Buccaneers fans that their team was bullshit, only for my team to win 21 games in a row and back-to-back Super Bowls. Who was the vanguard of spreading Patriots propaganda and spreading the word of Tom Brady? It was me. No one has done more to spread the word of our Lord and Savior, Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots more than me. I tried to tell people down here in Houston that I know more about football than you because of where my parents used to bang, which is in the greater New England area. Because of that, I gained a lifetime of football insight that a Texan can't possibly comprehend when it comes to the National Football League. I'm a 6-time Super Bowl champion. It's been really funny seeing some of the comments that I've been getting over the last couple of days, specifically about, oh, Paul, how you feeling about what we're doing? Oh, you're talking so much shit. I didn't talk any shit against my favorite team growing up. I just made a bunch of stupid shit posts, and I'm going to continue to make those stupid shit posts because they're getting me millions of views. They really are. But it's always been about this, guys. Paul, you're a fraud. You're like Big Cat. No. First off, don't hate on Big Cat. Pardon my take's amazing. Second, I have always been out of the closet when it comes to my Patriots fandom. It's just you guys understand, you know? Thomas Edward Patrick Brady is our Lord and Savior. Bill Belichick was the first steward to lead us. Now it's Mike Vrabel and Drake May. Paul, do you have a little thing called, a touch of autism? No, stop. That's not nice. That's not nice.
Is the man retarded? Let me apologize for using that word.
Oh,
I have my first cousin. We just put him to. He died a few months ago.
That's also not nice, Chris Broussard.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent like me?
That's not nice either. North Korean former leader Kim Jong-il. Listen, I'm gonna show you my true colors. That's what I love you. We do want to see some comments though that we got over the last couple of days. Some comments from the last couple of days. First off, we got Trav's Eye, who has an impressive beard, and I'm wondering if the creatures that live in this beard wrote this. Pencil Dick Gallant is a Boston guy. That's true. So you Texans should take offense to this mockery. Just FYI. No, that's what Tex Gallant sounds like, sir. We have another question in the mailbag. It's more a comment. Gallant says at gmail.com, 281-836-3912. That's how you text. That's the voicemail as well. YouTube at Paul Gallant. TikTok at Gallant Says. Instagram at Sports Gallant. Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. Twitch at Gallant Says. Another comment. Do you have any respect for yourself? No. Putting that fake accent on and making videos no one watches. Well, listen, 1 million people watched that video. I don't know what to say. I think this really just says more about the state of online content, that I can literally take a shit in my hand and just smear it all over the internet and it blows up. What else do we have? Cincinnati Willman said, why you special keep talking shit when you are a fat fuck who works minimum wage? If you just saw me taking off my hoodie a little bit ago, you know that Daddy's a sexy little Metro dandy boy, number one. And number two, I have no idea what you're trying to say here. I just don't. What else do we have today on the Gallant Says podcast? Bear Brother, some comments on the Gallant Says voicemail and text line, 281-836-3912. Paulie G, we've got to talk about about you calling me soft. Bear Brother, I did call you soft yesterday because you said you don't want to play outside. I did not read the entire message. I didn't want to. Because I read it as an excuse. Paulie G, we've got to talk about you calling me soft. Does this mean that you want the NFL to go back to allowing pass rushers to break legs a la Joe Theismann? Or your Lord and Savior Tom Brady getting sacked, causing him to miss the rest of the season? Yeah, that sucked, but I mean, yeah. Quarterbacks should not be treated with more rights than every other player on the field. You know? I do think it would be cool if we went back to play football with no pads and leather helmets. I would love that. Stephen A. Smith, is he going to call Christian Kirk Charlie Kirk again? I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Gallant Says podcast. We're on to Denver. Well, I'm sorry. I'm on to Denver. That's the only trash talk I'll do. That's it. I'm on to Denver. But I empathize. And this is a team that I cover, the Texans, and I would like the Texans to be better than they are. And alas, they keep on losing in the divisional round of the playoffs. And it makes me feel like no one in this city is ever going to take them seriously, which is very frustrating because I care more about football than any other sport. And yet the town that I live in has a weird relationship with the NFL team here because whenever it seems like there is a time that they're about to buy in, they lay a stinker like we saw yesterday. And now this team is stuck with CJ Stroud going forward. Woof. Subscribe to the Gallant Says podcast, Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. We're going to put this whole thing up on today's podcast. We will eventually get to a moment in time where we're going to post some of the good segments, the sports year segments, to Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. But we're going to have a Patreon for you to get all the other stuff that we talk about. You can also get this show live weekdays around 7 in the morning. We're going to go back to 7 in the morning. We had some issues with the streaming early on in the show. YouTube at Paul Gallant, like this video and subscribe. Twitch at Gallant Says. Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports. Instagram at Sports Gallant. TikTok at Gallant Says. X at Gallant Says Pod. And that's it. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up today's show. So long, farewell.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain.
And have yourselves a wonderful rest of your